As you may know, gerbils, like any other rodent, need large enclosures with the right enrichment. There are two suitable cage options for gerbils: gerbilariums and tanks. Cages with any plastic are not great, as gerbils chew a lot and would probably demolish it in a day. What is a gerbilarium, you may ask? Well, it's basically a glass base deep enough to have at least 15 centimeters of bedding depth and a wide cage topper. Do keep in mind that for a tank you will need a 40-gallon one, if not it won't be suitable. For a tank you will of course need to have a lid, you don't want any gerbils escaping. Or you could always just DIY it yourself. There are many great tutorials out there to follow. Many people will underestimate the cost of small animals, as they are considered cheap pets in comparison to cats and dogs. If one gerbil, for example, costs around £15 at a shop, double it, because gerbils must at least be in pairs. Instead of supporting pet shops, such as Petland and PetSmart in America, and Pets at Home in the UK, you could instead go to an adoption centre, such as Wood Green, for example, and give animals a second chance. Places like this are great, mostly because they often follow the correct care guides for these animals. The cages don't need to be too expensive. I got mine off Amazon for £75 and it's still quite good quality. For tanks, you could instead go to some place like IKEA, and they have plenty good shelves that you could just put sideways and you have a DIY tank. This is without even thinking about extra costs such as food, sand, a variety of toys, plenty treats, and multiple accessories that you will need in everyday care. This is also without thinking about unwanted visits such as vets, and lots of bedding throughout their lives. This is a gerbil. And this is a hamster. And they are very different species, but not only physically. Well, many people, including myself, have owned hamsters before moving on to owning gerbils. Well, what is the problem, you may ask? It's basically that if you're like me and like doing lots of research before owning an animal, you may start comparing the two. There are positives and negatives to this aspect. For example, gerbils are very active creatures, whereas hamsters tend to be more chilled animals. This is just something good to keep in mind before making any important decisions. I mean, let's face it, gerbils poo, and sadly, they poo quite a lot. There isn't much we can do about this, so the best thing is to keep your head high and keep the cage as clean as possible. I would recommend keeping a small dustpan nearby for any bigger messes, and a little toothbrush for any indoor messes. After all, our pets are only a small part of our lives, but to them we are everything they will ever know. The best tip I can give you today is to love and cherish every moment spent with them, trying to provide their best life possible. I hope you have enjoyed the video and has helped to answer any questions you may have. Until next time, bye!